Well, hello everyone. This is Gauthier from Sky Protocol, and I'm blessed to have Faré here. Hi, Faré.
Hi.
Oh, you have the voice of the guy who was frustrated and who finally reached completion. And I'm talking about code, not anything else. All right. So everyone, we solved our problem. So now all the code and the tech for the testnet is here, and this is what we're going to show you tonight. And over the next week, the following week, we're going to show you basically how to use it. And when this is online, well, we'll just push the button and launch it. So we're happy about that. Okay, so first of all, why did we have a bug? It came from the Plutus environment. Basically, the testing environment from Plutus had a bug and a flaw that wasn't in the production environment. And we even tried to rewrite our own code when actually the problem wasn't on our side. So we lost some time trying to figure out. Kudos to the Cardano Foundation and notably to Pierre Kaklamanos from the Cardano Foundation, because they diligently sent us many cool experts. We were kind of struggling with the problem, but we had many people who were experienced in Plutus and who helped us find the problem. So yes, the problem was on Plutus, but the Cardano Foundation really wants to help their builders, and that was pretty cool. So, Faré, do you want to develop a bit more about the bug you solved?
No, we solved a series of bugs, and yes, the Plutus. Okay, I don't think the language is bad, but the ecosystem, the whole thing is such hard to deal with. It's not the ecosystem is not mature. That's for sure. The ecosystem is every step is hard, and debugging is hard. In the bug, for example, we had a bug in our test, not in our code, but just identify where the bug was. So it was such a horror. And yeah, anyway, we did it in the end. Yeah, I can show the code. If you want to see all the small things, we see the history in GitHub. I should show my
Yes.
screen or something.
You will do that. But first of all, I'm going to talk, while you're loading your screen, I'm going to talk about the order of the day. So everyone, Faré is now going to share his screen and basically explain every last part of the code that we published on our GitHub and what it does. Then we'll talk about Olapa. The scaling solution has its merits, but we need to have also a B2B offer in order to make Sky profitable. So we're going to talk about that. Many people had questions, so I took note of all the questions in order to answer these questions, notably about the token holders. How will it work for them? How are these guys protected, and so on? What will be the business model? How will the two work together technologically and in terms of business? Some people questioned the roadmap as well, saying, guys, you were late, and so what happened? Well, some people understood, and some others said, yeah, but this is kind of infuriating and frustrating for the people who buy your token. Well, this is a legitimate question. Masoud, for example, if you hear us on Discord, I know that this is frustrating, so we're going to talk about that. And I like to answer this in front of the camera because sometimes when we talk on Discord or on Twitter or on Telegram, things can look like they're heated up when they are not, but it's not the same thing as seeing the emotions on somebody's face. Anyway, so that's also a question we're going to address. Some people asked us about our presence at several conventions and fairs and so on. So we're going to talk about that as well. And of course, we're going to talk about what's next. So we're going to discuss the next step for this week, at least, because there's quite a lot to show this week, and also how we are going to use the budgets that we're raising, because some people said, oh, is there going to be a mix between Olapa and Sky? Short answer, no and yes, but that's why I need to explain that to the community as well. So, first of all, what people have been waiting for, Faré, you can share your screen. All right, everyone, just a little warning here. Faré is going to show a very tech-savvy demo, so he's going to show code and explain it. This is intended for developers and builders. If you're not one of these guys, this might be boring for you, so you can meet us at timecode 33 minutes and 25 seconds to talk about the rest of the development of Sky Protocol. And also, later this week, we're going to show a very simple demo, more vulgarized from the standpoint of a builder with no code. All right. So, Faré, the stage is yours. You want to comment your code? There you are.
Hi. So this is a code for Sky Protocol. I'm just editing right now the README, the latest version of the README, and make it slightly better. But the code is working. The hardest part was making it getting things just right with Plutus, and debugging Plutus is hell. But we did it. There were fewer bugs than we thought, but fighting with Plutus was much harder than we thought too. So there, and I don't know what else to say. What is there? So the part is divided into, let's say, libraries, which are the on-chain part, the contracts parts. The contract part here, no, contracts, I think contracts an old thing. It's called on-chain now. On-chain, the contract is in on-chain, and then there is the off-chain code, which is a server, and there's a code that is common libraries, which is mostly the try and the DA, the data structures, and plenty of types and support for types. So the common stuff, if you want to read the code, I would recommend you start with the common stuff. Then you go on to the on-chain stuff, which is a contract. And the main contract is a bridge contract. And then the minting policy is a support to create the bridge. And the bounty contract is an example client for the Sky protocol. So the main thing is a bridge, the hard part. And the DA and the try or versions of our DA and the try specialized for on-chain support. We do just little hashes and verification. There's no the computation, like there's no the building the tree, the try, there's only verifying the try. There's no building the DA, there's just verifying the DA. And so you can look at this, but really the code that is interesting is all in common here. And then there is a server, which is in off-chain. So in off-chain, you have the API, which is being described with all the types, etc. And then you have the app itself. So let's look at.
Start with common first. So
okay.
First of all, start with common and show us the code and tell us what it does.
Okay, so let's start with common. So you have a pd common/common. Let's see, we have the try here, and the try this is the data structure that we use everywhere. Everyone has a try. The famously Ethereum uses a try, or Big Indian Patricia tree, or in this case a Merkle Patricia tree, and we have plenty of infrastructure to make a try. It's 800 lines long. It's not that long, but it does a whole lot of heavy lifting, and we'll continue to add a few more features to it. But all the basics are there, like adding and removing a node, etc., is all there. And
so, can you vulgarize and tell the non-techies basically what this data structure does at this point? So, not at the mainnet, but at the testnet point.
It does all that, or most that it will do at mainnet. It does. You can add a node. So, you can update a node, insert a node, remove a node, look up a node. So, all the basic CRUD data structure is there. So you can insert, update, remove, look up, and basically a try is a function from integers to whatever you want. So it's a table, a finite It's finable from integer to whatever you want, and it's logarithmic access. So it's as good as it gets for a pure fractional data structure that you can merkleize. It's even better for us because our updates uses a zipper. I gave talks on zippers, etc. I wrote an article on it. I talked about it in the past in one of the videos. You can read all about it. And the zippers mean that basically sequential access is in O of 1 instead of O of log n. So like we're really fast compared to competition. And that's good. The zipper is there. If you want to see the basic data types, there's something called types, where there are types like base, and then there's types like for like more elaborate types, and then other things to deal with our references. So some have something like type slash list that we use. This is like type infrastructure. If you know Haskell, you'll really enjoy that. If you don't know Haskell, just trust me, that is a basic infrastructure. Let's look at type/base.hs.
Also, this is why before this demo, I gave a warning to everyone saying, like, guys, do skip. In the video, there's a title saying, okay, skip to this time code if you don't want to see the tech or you don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because of course this is techish, obviously. I will vulgarize that in the associated article and the description of the video.
Yes. So the base thing is those base tabs that we use, and we had to rewrite it many times so that Plutus would be happy with it, because what works for Haskell does not work for Plutus. That was one of our great frustration with Plutus, that it was told to us, oh, it's basically a subset of Haskell that does all the good things, but that is specialized for the blockchain. But in the end, actually, no, it does not do all the good things. It's a really small subset of Haskell that is not that usable. So we had to restrict a lot of what we do and the style. We couldn't do exactly what we wanted, but it's good enough. It's good. It's not the best, so it's not what we wanted, but it works. You have things such as converting to and from byte strings and doing bit logic, such as like bit calculations, and Plutus makes that much harder than it should be. But all this code works with Plutus. It works in Haskell. It works in both, and it does what you think it does. Support for bytes, for 32-bit words, for here is 64-bit words. This is byte strings of arbitrary length. Here is support for strings. Here support for a byte, a single byte. There's support for 16-bit integers, etc., etc. So it's all, this is a base, type/base, base things. If you want to see type/cons, the slightly more elaborate types, it's things such as supporting either a choice between three things and a choice between four things instead of just a choice between two things, and then supporting things like list and pairs, no, not pairs, but tuple, like missing functions for pairs, missing functions for triplets, for quadruplets, quintuplets, I think even sextuplets, and lists at some point. So we handle transforming between lists and sequences of bytes, things like that. So this is relatively straightforward stuff. And lift, you need it for type purpose, and you can read more about that when you need a try. So there's a try, and then I already showed you the try. It should be fine. It should be so this magic thing that that's the balanced binary tree that is always as full as possible, and it's a great data structure. Read about it in my papers. Okay, so that's a common thing. And then there is a DA, and the structure of the DA so far is so that we have metadata and we have a trie of topics, and each topic is itself here some metadata for the topic, and then the data, which is a try of messages.
Okay, so what does this part does for the non-techies?
So basically, this is our DA is a try of try, basically. It's a try of try plus additional metadata, but we have 2 levels of tries. And in the future, we could add 3 levels or 4 levels or whatever. But basically, the more data you want, you just need to add 1 level or 2 levels more of tries.
Interestingly, that means that unless we have 700 billion people on Earth, we'll never reach the 7th level or something.
Oh, no. Even if we're the 4th level, it's like... if we go galactic, we will need 6 levels or something like that. But if we stay in the solar system, 4 levels should be more than enough. Certainly 5 will be more than enough for the extended solar system. So yeah, like stay on Earth, 3 or 4 levels will be enough for all of Earth.
Nice. Okay, what else?
What else? Okay, so that's the common part. Then the on-chain part. The contracts is interesting. And the more important than contracts is the bridge. So DAH and TRI-H is just a simplified version of the DA and the bridge that are just for verification purposes. And the bridge is a contract that binds the things together. I think I've showed you a previous version of the bridge. This one is a complete, it works. It's tested. It was a bit of hell to test, but it's tested. So it's pretty straightforward Plutus code where we define the parameters, which is just the currency symbol, and the redeemer, which is the things we need to have the metadata and the committee, the metadata and the committee, the schema and the committee together become the metadata, and the old root hash is the old state of the data and the new state of the thing, and the signature to prove that you did right. And everything is pretty much straightforward. There's something where you need to find the NFT, the right NFT the right way, and we know how to do it. And where's the token name Skybridge? I saw this. Okay, well, maybe it's a bit too specialized right now. We may need to change token name Skybridge by something that is used that is parameterized, but no, that's fine. That should be fine. And we'll trace. So we added lots of error messages just in case. Maybe we can remove the error messages in the future or not, or maybe there are plenty that are just fine. Okay, so there's a validator, and the validator is the thing that does the important part. And you see, we do a lot of threads. We added lots of error messages after we figure out how to convince Plutus to do the right thing with the error messages. And here's the validator core. We checked if the top hash is fit, if the multi-sig fits, and then it just works. We verify the right thing. And then it's just coercing the argument the right way. And so this is the bridge contract. It's a beautifully simple 250 lines. That's not too much to review for a reviewer. So we're confident that it will be easy to do a security review of that, of the contract here. And then if you want to see what the simplified try is, the simplified try is just replace everything by hashes. So a try top H is a try top of a hash, and everything is replaced by hashes everywhere. And this way it makes Plutus happy. So I needed to rewrite some specialized version of some functions to monomorphize them, to make them work just with hashes. And this is 100 lines. This is also very, very simple. But it uses the more general, it uses some of the code in common, but the code that we needed to, for instance, to apply the Merkle proof, to check the Merkle proof, this is still 2 lines of code. So, well, one of line is a bit long, but it's 2 lines of code.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, then
Uh,
go ahead.
and then there's the off-chain code, and we had a bit of trouble making that all right and debugging it, and that's also where Plutus was a pain to work with, and Haskell a bit of a pain to work with. But that's where we have our API, where we do things. Let's see the bridge or the DA. Let's see the DA API. The DA API, why does it not, maybe if I do the API, say da.a, mda.hs. Huh, why in some cases it, I don't know, colorized and not in other cases? I don't know. But here is a DA API where basically you can, you have like you have a public and protected subset of the API. And the public thing, you can read it, anyone can read any message, and anyone can get a proof that the message was indeed included on chain. But for now, it's a protected API to post messages. So until we do all the accounting correctly, it's basically you need to be whitelisted to push messages, or else there will be spam. So, but of course, the spam solution is to make people pay for posting messages, and that's what we'll implement next.
Of course, but that's why also we have a whitelist for node operators and validators during the testnet phase, because we know that they're not going to abuse the system.
Yes, exactly. So for testnet phase, it will be all whitelists. So the protected API just create a topic or publish a message, and that's simple enough. So, and then, so this is the implementation that is relatively simple. And yeah, it's a simple Haskell code. It just works. It's a total 160 lines of the API itself. Then there's a bridge API. Let's see. That's talking to the contracts. That's the part of the bridge that talks to the contract and builds the messages to talk to the contract. And that's pretty straightforward also, but okay. And then there's a part of the bridge which is visible by the API where you tell, now I want to update the things. And this bridge API should be used only by basically node administrators, and we will automate it by the time we launch, do the full launch. But basically, this is when do we update the bridge, and when you want to update the bridge, we'll send the bridge update message, and we'll update the bridge, and that's it. So this will be put on a timer so that regularly people will update. We will update the bridge, or on demand when someone wants it. Either when someone wants the bridge updated, or when the timer hits a certain time, we will update the bridge, and then everyone can see the changes. So read bridge, we can read the current state of the bridge, and the important thing is update bridge, the thing where we update the bridge for the current state of the network. So okay, so there are things special to Cardano, such having a collateral you take, so things like that. We handle everything. It's a bit complex, but it's only 200 lines of code, so that's still pretty much simple enough, as simple as it can be done to deal with all this complexity. Sky minting policy. This is the sky minting policy is just a principle minting which is create an NFT that we use for the bridge, and that's a pretty straightforward thing. I'm not sure we need to discuss much about it, but why is this one colorized and not the other one? I don't know.
That comes from your interface, not from
Yes,
from Sky, so we don't care.
Yeah, yes. This is the colorization is just a feature of whatever the display. The code on this doesn't have a color. So the bounty contract is the bounty contract is the thing that uses an example used for the bridge. So it's an online on-chain contract that verifies that something has been published indeed on-chain on Sky, and then rewards someone on Cardano if the thing has been done on Sky. So bounty.hs. This time it will be colorized. It looks like yes. So we can offer a bounty or claim a bounty. This is an example client. So we wanted to make sure that we don't have just the Sky protocol itself, but the ability to use Sky protocol from a contract on Cardano. So here's something that sends 10 million love days to whoever publishes the message, and or to the right person who claims that he will publish the message if he does indeed publish the message. And so, yeah, this is we're all working. What else is there? App is just the thing that stores the app and provides the environment, the outer loop if you want. Look app.hs, for instance. This is where the main function lies. Or run app, something like that. That's the thing that starts everything else. And it will show utilities. Maybe here is, yes, the main function is app/main as the main. Yes, that's the main function that starts everything else. And so it's slightly specialized for Milestone 4, and we'll update it to be specialized for the testnet soon. So yes, right now it's specialized for Milestone 4 and the test that will run for Milestone 4. By next week, it will be for the testnet. So here it is. One thing is that right now we're working on the Cardano preview network. So if you go on cd config, there's a file called example config, and this file will tell you what you need to change to rename it to local test or whatever. So here is a token. Edit this. We need to. Oh yeah, the token name is just basic-SYN encoded for a Sky protocol or whatever it is. But you will need a Maestro token because we could use Maestro to as a provider to post things, and you will need also a network ID. And here we should be using preview with us, and it will work. So you need to edit this file and then call it a local test, or rather, first you should edit it and copy it to the new file, and then you should edit it. And why I'm confused, it should call local test or test config. This should be explained in the README. I think I have one file with the old name. YAML. The YAML should be called local-test.yaml. So you copy to config/local-test.yaml and you edit the parts close to the edit these comments. And then you can run the rest of the instruction in the README, and it will show you that the test works and passes its test. You can, is it done compiling? Yes, it is, yay! So I can do a cabal build first. It will build the code. The tree is dirty because I'm editing the README. It should not be dirty for you if you don't edit anything.
Just in case there are non-techies, can you please vulgarize what you just did?
I'm building, so I run something called a Nix develop, which is I type Nix develop. It will run the thing, but you don't need to do that. You can follow the instructions in the README, which tells you exactly all the magic Nix commands that you need. And the first time it might build a lot of things. The first time you read it, hopefully it will also download as much as possible from the cache, so actually you build very little. But if you are not in luck, you might spend quite a few minutes just building a lot of stuff. And then you can create the addresses for your manual test, if you're in a manual test, and then you can run your manual test. But if you just cabal, so it's right now it's building everything. Boom, 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 boom. So this is just Haskell rebuilding everything from scratch. And issuing a warning message. You should not worry too much about those warning messages for now. I will hash some warnings soon, especially warnings in the tests. We don't care about warnings in the tests. And configuring executables. Okay, it's building more stuff. So it will take a few minutes to build everything. I will hash those warnings so that there are no warnings. Rebuilding everything, and then it will you'll be able to run the tests. Boom, 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 boom. Linking. Oh, it's linking lots of things.
So,
okay, now it's done building. We can cabal tests. And cabal tests will run all the tests. And they will all pass, which is good. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Test shoot, 4 tests pass, blah, blah, blah. All 1 test shoot pass, all these tests, like 4 tests here, 100.
you know, I'm very happy when I see okay everywhere because
I'm happy when I see okay. You think you're happy. You're not quite as happy as I am.
I know how much pressure you put on yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So all these tests pass. Yeah. And the test that was the most bits to pass was on-chain tests. Was it S at the end of the test? I think it is. And this is just, it was already run above, but yes, it all passes. Da, da, da. And yeah, this is very pleasant when all these things pass. So it puts maybe too much debug information printed on the screen. And the debug is very important when the thing fails, but frankly, we should remove these debugs when the scripts pass, because this is just noise, line noise. So okay. Yes, all the tests pass. Yes. So next Thursday, I think we'll publish a video where we show you with it working with the Preview network and with the Chain Explorer, etc., that you can look it up. But right now it's working. Where I'm just finishing the README, like fixing the typos or whatever in the README, and then we're pushing it to Milestone 4, and yes.
Okay, you can shut down your screen and turn back your camera on so that we go to the rest of the order of the day. Okay, so we had a blast here. So as I said to everyone, jump to this time code if you don't want to hear about all the tech-savvy demo. This was really for the people who are developers and who want to say, I am a developer and I want to see how it works, how I want to hear a few explanations. So this is it. Now, let's vulgarize what you just did for the past 25 minutes. So there are a few different folders in our GitHub, one for the common code, one for the bridge, one for the smart contract that we have, one for the NFT minting policy, one is for the on-chain code, and one for the off-chain code. That's and a few other categories. Basically, guys, there are a few things that we didn't code into the testnet because we don't care. That's why we're whitelisting people. Notably, there is no, for example, way of censorship in order to publish messages on the data availability layer. Why? Because only the node operators and the builders, the whitelisted builders, will be allowed to do so during the testnet phase. So we don't need to make them pay for a message in order to prevent harassment and denial of service attacks. We don't need that, but of course that will be a part of the mainnet functions. So guys, if you want to read the whole vulgarization, what Faré did for the past 25 minutes, I'm going to vulgarize that in an article. And so now we're going to talk about more developmental matters, more business oriented matters, because there are lots of questions. There are lots of questions, so we need to answer that. All right. One question, Faré. Some people asked about Icon. Is it going to be possible to integrate Sky Protocol to apps that were coded in Icon instead of, for example, other languages that we usually find on Cardano, like Plutus?
Yes, that's the plan. I don't think the version that's out today will work with Icon, but in the next few weeks we'll make it work with Icon. Yes, that's a big part of the plan. Yes.
Also, side note here, we are in contact and have been in contact with the team that develops Icon from the beginning. So we're not working with them directly in order to code our product, but we are in contact with these guys, so we know exactly who to talk to in order to make a product compatible with what they do. I am under the impression that it will be probably much easier to make it more compatible with Icon than it was with Plutus, so I think that the toughest is behind us, for that part at least.
Yes, my experience with Plutus is, had I known, I would probably have tried Icon first or something, because oh my God, Plutus was a bitch to work with. But if you want to work with Plutus, we will support Plutus, and if you want to work with Icon, we will support Icon.
Yeah.
And
obviously, there are too many people using Plutus to just ditch that, so it's not possible. So we have to be compatible with both. So that's it. Okay, second question. I think this one is more for me, but you can comment however you want, Faré. People asked about, so they saw the presentation we did about Olapa, the SaaS offer equivalent of Sky Protocol. Yeah. So context here, we have been selected at a Cardano-oriented incubator, and so this accelerator raised a great question that we already knew about, and we had an answer that was ready for quite a long time. We know that scaling solutions do not typically make money because they reduce the amount of transaction fees in the end. So you tend to reduce the amount of transaction fees more than you increase the number of users. So yes, you increase the cash flow, but the average fee by user is so low because your technology works that it's not going to bring you any money. So there are solutions for other companies who did that, but these solutions are half-baked for us from our standpoint. One of these scaling solutions, and I'm not going to name them because I don't want to criticize them. This is a good choice, but they have to subsidize their users to use their solution instead of using another scaling solution. So at the moment, they're just feeding themselves off investors' money, and they don't have a clear plan for the future. The other possibility is to pivot and use your scaling solution for something else, like decentralized AI or something. Some others did that, but this also raises many questions because AI is complicated, blockchain is complicated. Both of these solutions, this makes for a very complicated use case. So we didn't have the funding to go down that road. And luckily, we had that solution. So I'm not going to pitch you Olapa again, guys. But if you want, I'll put in the description the video we did at the demo day. Also, sorry about that because I know that some of you were frustrated. They thought that the demo day was basically where we would demo our code. I'm very sorry about that, really, because I understand the confusion totally. We didn't make the rules and we didn't choose the terms, the wording that the accelerator would be using. And so they said demo day. Actually, it's more like a pitching day. And we've been very clear about the fact that we were pitching in front of investors at demo day. But still, because it was called demo day, some people said, shit, where is the demo? So here you are. Faré just did one demo, and there are many more coming this week. So, aside from this, to tell you very basically the link between Sky and Olapa, it's very simple. There are many companies who lose a lot of money because of data alteration. So they need to keep track of of what happens in their cloud. And guess what? That's a great use case for the blockchain industry. So we basically use what we have at Olapa, at Sky Protocol, the same tech, and we offer companies on Salesforce, for example, or on bigger cloud systems, on bigger database systems, to use the tech behind Sky Protocol under the name Olapa. It's just that we make two different offers, and we offer them to use that with a paid subscription monthly in order to notarize everything that happens on a tamper-proof network. Basically, that means that in front of a court, they can prove that they didn't commit the fraud. That means that they can claim a better corporate insurance because they have the means to show that they have, they have taken all the measures that they legally have to take. And of course, you can turn off the valve more easily and faster if there's a hacker, because the hacker cannot erase their traces. So now, how does it work? What's the link with Sky Protocol? Well, basically, we can use our Olapa solution in two ways. One, to build a private blockchain for the customer, or two, to use the public blockchain that we have on Sky Protocol. So that means more users using our utility token. So some people asked us, what is the business model and what's the link between Sky and Olapa? So two things. Picture us as the Linux Foundation, basically. How does the Linux Foundation make money? They have many, many free tools that are cool for builders and people who want to change the world. But they need to make money, so they have corporate deals. Basically, Olapa is for the corporate deals, and Sky is something that will keep free for the builders, so that people don't have to pay for a solution, and we don't have to pay them to use it. We want people to be free, and we don't want to have that hassle. So we're making our corporate deals, and this is a good way to fund more functions. And for all the customers that will not be using private blockchains, and trust me, most of the customers in the beginning will not be people who have the means to develop their own private blockchain. All these customers are basically going to use the Sky protocol, the Sky utility token. So that means more users and so more economic incentives. What Faré will do, and maybe he can speak about it, but this is what we're going to do. We have to think about a reward system, basically a reward system in order to incentivize the people who hold Sky tokens, in order to make all the customers happy with the solution. But this is a cool problem to have. Like, if you have many customers, that means that mechanically there are many holders of the token. So some people also asked, does that mean that, for example, the token holders will change their status? No, they will stay protected. So because somebody on Twitter asked me, and I told that person, yeah, I'm going to respond to that in the video, but basically, the person said, oh, I saw that you want to have an exit strategy to resell the company in the future. Is it going to change something for the token holders? First of all, we're talking usually of reselling a company after 5 or 6 years at least. You usually don't sell the company after 6 months. So we're talking 2032, not now. And also, no, it doesn't change the status of the token holders, because this is a decentralized system, and the token holders are needed in order to have the SaaS offer up and running. So no, it's not going to change anything for the token holders. The only thing that it changes is that if you want to raise funds with a VC, there is no sane VC that will accept a project that doesn't have an exit strategy. Basically, they want to know how much they can resell the company. That doesn't mean that we, Faré and myself, are going to stop working there. That means that we're going to lose shares in it. But that also means that that the token holders are protected because it's a decentralized system. So that's one of the things. Faré, do you want to add something on these parts?
Yes. Your camera is off first. You can see Olapa as one user of Sky Protocol. Sky Protocol is a protocol. It's open source. It's free. Of course, operators get paid by the users to operate. So it's a typical decentralized system. And one set of users would be the users of Olapa, who use essentially the same technology to publish lots and lots of data, lots of private data. And they can put that in one of the topics. You can, hey, I'm a big corporation number one. I want to reserve a topic to push the updates to my private blockchain version of Sky Protocol. And that's what they will do. They will push their stuff. And because it's part of a bigger network, which is Sky Protocol, they can prove not only, it's not just us, like the entire world is our notary public that this data was here at that time. So basically, you use Sky protocol as a notary public for the big corporations' entire log of immutable data. And then they can go to court and say, look, this data was there then, so we didn't cheat, or if the cheating happened, it was one of our employees who cheated well in advance. At least the data was not tampered with. There's no tampering after the fact. This is the original data from back when it was made. So this has, I think, a lot of value in court. And lots of big corporations will like that. Lots of our competitors on the space of logging for big companies have vaguely similar products, but we will be able to offer a proof of inclusion of every message. We have things where we can use also technologies such as trusted execution environments to filter those things in a trusted way, yet efficient way, unlike what you could do, say, with zero knowledge proof, where it's also reliable, but not effective, not very expensive. So we can offer a service to big corporations or small corporations and be just users among others of Sky Protocol as a open system. So Sky Protocol becomes basically the notary public of the entire world, not just of a blockchain. You can become the notary public of all things blockchain and also the notary public of all things private. So yeah, that will create lots of value, I think, for the operators of Sky Protocol, the decentralized network. So we're basically generating the users. Like Sky Protocol, you're an operator, you bought shares, that means you are willing to operate or fund operators, and operators need users. Well, OLAPA is generating users for Sky Protocol. I think that's a synergy between the two. It's not one or the other, or one eating the other and the other has nothing. No, it's to work together. It's really a synergy between the two.
Also, it's a coherent plan because we were bragging about the fact that through our sibling company Web3 Enabler we have a partnership with Salesforce and Zoho. Well, it's very simple. That means that from day one when we release the MVP, we have basically a nice presence on a cool CRM. So that means that we have an app that is sellable on Salesforce and so on. Some people ask me to explain the deal on Salesforce. So it's very simple. To become an ISV, so independent software vendor, you need to have an 18 months vesting process, which is not even guaranteeing that you'll be accepted there. You also have a due diligence process, and they have to be convinced by your product. But once you are the independent software vendor, well, then, yes, of course, you can do that. So when I say sibling company is because most of the people who work at Sky Protocol are advisors to Web3 Enabler and vice versa, and also because it's basically the same house and the same shareholders. The team of the whole MuKn ecosystem. So that's why we are happily having that deal, and that was quite a lot of work from Alex Hochberger from Web3 Enabler. To kudos to him to pull this off, because now we have already one live app on Salesforce in our ecosystem. So that means that there will be a few others, but one of them will be the OLAPA network, the OLAPA app. Another one is going to be related to Cardano, because Web3 Enabler got a Catalyst grant as well. So all these things, all these pieces are now coming together. I'm very sorry because I was super excited to share this with you guys, but I had to save this for the pitching day, and I had this ready for quite a long time. I've been hinting at it. I would be a very bad liar in the mafia community, because when I'm excited about a project, I always want to gossip. But you know what it is. So now, regarding a few questions, you asked about the budget. Are the two budgets between OLAPA and Sky Protocol be mixed? No, not really. Like the tech from Sky Protocol and OLAPA are basically coming from the same budget. So a healthy, it can be a healthy 50-50, or it can be everything coming from OLAPA. It will be what we have. That's all the common tech. Now, the only thing is that our accounting is public because we are a U.S. company. We're not living in a fiscal heaven or something like that. So where we spend the money is very visible. So this is what we're going to do basically. We're not going to develop OLAPA related functionalities with the Sky Protocol budget and vice versa. So that means that everything that has to do with the scaling solution for builders on Cardano is not paid by OLAPA. But that also means that all the SaaS offer is paid by OLAPA itself and not by any Catalyst grants or by other grants that we're hunting at the moment, because we're trying to have grants from other sources as well. So there's no mix between the two budgets aside from the pieces of tech that are really in common, because they have 80% of their tech in common. The UI is going to be different, but that's a few $1,000 to develop. A few pieces of tech are different, that kind of stuff. The marketing is different as well, so the two marketings do not intermingle. Also, it's not even the same type of conventions, because OLAPA is a SaaS offer. That means that we're bringing to Cardano many non-Web3 companies, basically many companies who just are present in the field of Web 2 and who have a genuine interest for secure cloud computing. All these companies do not even care about Web 3, but they are cool customers. So that's not the same marketing, not the same type of conventions. So we're not really going to change that. Now, one thing that could happen, however, in the future, one thing, and Faré, feel free to tell me if you think the same way, but I could imagine if OLAPA generates quite a lot of revenue, I could imagine also building a few extra features for Sky Protocol if we're in a very healthy position, but not in the next 2 or 3 years, unless we get super successful. But of course, when you get investment, you have to get you have to also be accountable in front of your investors. So the only thing is, if we get quite a lot of cash flow, then of course we can pay for a few extra features from Sky Protocol, but OLAPA is going to help Sky Protocol in many ways, notably in paying for all the tech that Sky uses as well as OLAPA. And so that's quite a bit already. But we basically all the OLAPA related stuff is funded by the cash flow and the customers, and all the Sky related stuff is funded by the grants and node sale, our upcoming node sale, and so on. And also, that's also where we're going to set up the DAO. We still have 50% ish of the tokens that we didn't spend, and those tokens are typically the kind of stuff that we're going to expense in the future. This is going to be a bounty system, bug bounty system. This is going to be also a grant system, so that means the community will have to vote. Honestly, the Catalyst system is not bad, so we could draw our inspiration from it. So also, yes, regarding the DAO is not going to fund OLAPA. It's going to fund the Sky Protocol network, and it's only for that. So the two things are separated anywhere they have to be. The only reason for us to mix the two budgets would be if there's a good reason to mix them, because they have features in common, and this is something that will be public in any case. Now, what will we do with the budget? What are we going to do next? So for OLAPA, we're raising money to build an MVP. And for Sky Protocol, we're raising money through the next Catalyst round, the 14th edition, I guess, and through our upcoming node sale. This is going to carry us all the way to mainnet. What we would like is to hire more developers. Also, this would solve a few problems. Notably, some people said to me, "Yeah, Gauthier, can you come to Discord more often? Because I'm usually coming there every 2-3 days, and I'm summoning Faré when he's not in the code developer and the code discussions." The reason is very simple. We have lots of work to do, and myself, I'm still paying my bills with a full-time job. So I basically have 2 full-time jobs. So when I have to choose between spending 5 hours between curating a list or answering social media posts. Of course, I'm going to spend time curating the list of investors, and that's not because I do not want to answer on Discord. It's just that we have a team, a lovely team, Hughes, Hassan, and Dominic. Those guys are here to usually summon me and tell me, "Oh, Gauthier, can you please come because we need you here," and that's it. And kudos to these guys; they're really helping a lot. So sorry if we don't come every often. If you guys really want me to be here every day, I'll be here every day. But that's a time management problem that will probably be much easier to solve when we get a bit more funding, and we would like to beef up our convention game. But most of the money we're raising through grants and node sale for Sky Protocol and through funding for OLAPA will go to development and marketing. More marketing and business development on OLAPA and more development on Sky Protocol, as you can imagine, but that's basically the hang of it. Aside from this, I guess that's everything. Faré, you want to add something regarding everything I said, because these were the questions from the audience.
I agree with everything. Just to clarify, things like consensus, etc., will be funded by Sky Protocol because OLAPA does not deal with consensus. Things like marketing and enterprise features, it's all OLAPA. It will not be funded with Sky Protocol money. And the technology that is in common, that is ingesting massive amount of data in a try or in a try of tries, that's the common features, and it will be both benefits from that, and it will be whoever has the money pays for that, and the other benefits for free, but that because it's a common thing. So like Sky Protocol will never fund anything that it would not already have funded, and similarly OLAPA will never fund something it would not already have funded, and it so happened that there's a common core, and that's win-win for everyone.
All right, and so to finish, everyone, we were Monday, the 4th of August, 4 minutes ago in France. In the US, it's still the 4th of August, and so in some places of the world, it's already the 5th. So let's say we're Monday, the 4th. Tomorrow on Tuesday we're running some tests, and we're answering questions. On Wednesday, Faré is also running tests, and on Thursday morning probably in France. So nighttime by the US, but don't freak out, guys, if you don't see us pushing that and are a few hours late. No worries, and DM us if you stress about it. But basically, on Thursday we're going to publish a demo of Sky Protocol, not a technical one like Faré just did. We're going to show you a simulation demo. Basically, how would the experience be like for a builder? This is what it's going to be like. That means that on Thursday evening, we'll have a Twitter space, the two of us, in order to answer questions. Next week, I'd like to have a Discord space as well, because we don't have the same people there, but I don't exactly know when this is going to happen. It might be redundant, but we don't care. It's cool for the Discord community as well. I'll announce the date when I know, but I have something to take care of regarding schedules. And aside from this, next week we'll also push the button, because basically today what you saw is the release of our 4th milestone. On Thursday, the demo that we're showing is the 5th milestone of our last Catalyst grant. So that means that when this is done, we just have, with extra steps, but basically we will push the button and release the testnet. And so that means that through the month of August, I would like to interview a lot of builders. So all the people we're in contact with are going to have one-on-one calls with us. We're going to record the calls so that they can look at the demo, see how it works. And these guys are basically then be live testimonials. So this will be the proof that it works. This will be also coming with the commentary of CTOs from many different companies who build cool stuff on Cardano. So we'll be happy to see these guys work on what we do. And that's mostly it, I guess. Unless you have something else to add, Faré?
No. I'm excited. I'm sorry it took so long. I'm very happy we did it. I think it was very hard, but we did it. We have still a bit of a shoestring budget, so it's hard, but we're
pulled
going
this
to
off.
do it. Great. I'm looking forward. Like I'm excited. I think it's going to be great.
All righty, everyone. So, see you next time. This is Monday. See you on Thursday. And in the meantime, stay safe, have fun. Love to everyone. Bye-bye.